Hi, I'm Christy. I want to talk to you today about opening a bank account for your loved one. When you think of opening a bank account, be it savings or checking, you generally think, okay, that's easy, that's not very overwhelming, and I would agree with you. In fact, a lot of families will open an account with their kids when they're really little. We just kind of never got around to that. But late last year, we got thinking about opening accounts for the boys. Sean was wanting to save for some bigger ticket items, and he tends to be tempted if he has money in his wallet. AJ is a great saver because there's not a whole lot he wants. And so he was getting quite a bit of money in his wallet. So we decided it was time to open an account for each of the boys. So one day we went down to a national chain in our area and wanted to open an account for each of the boys. Except that I forgot to grab their social security cards. And it was late in the day. We didn't have time to run home, grab the cards, and come back before they were closed for the day. Okay, no big deal. We'll go home, we'll get the cards, we'll come back tomorrow. Except that tomorrow was AJ's birthday, his 18th birthday. That meant he no longer qualified for a minor account. He now had to have an adult account, full regular account, and a state ID. Because he was adult, they wanted proof of identity. So he didn't have a state ID. I did talk about getting him one in last week's video and blog post. So you can go back and read the whole story about how that went. But this was one of the big instigations for why we got it. And so we waited until AJ's state ID arrived in the mail, and then we went back to the bank with their social security cards and open accounts. Phew, one more thing off my list, life is good. Now, while we were there to actually open the accounts, it was actually a pretty simple and straightforward process, and it didn't take a whole lot of time. We needed their social security cards, and we needed cash to make the deposits. Again, pretty straightforward. We completed a few forms, which was really just giving the information to the bank employee, and they put it straight into the computer. Signed in a couple places, done. Now for AJ, again, because he was an adult, we had to do just a regular account. He has full access to the funds, and it's just a joint account between him and me. This wasn't my preferred way, but we can make this work. It's not a big deal. If we ever decide to do some kind of financial protection for him, I can take that paperwork back to the bank and see if we can make any changes to help protect him. As we were talking about checking versus savings for each of the boys, we decided on a savings account for each of them, but for very different reasons. Sean, because he's still a minor and he's still under 16, it was really the only option we had for him. So it's in both of our names, but I'm the primary on the account, and so I have to approve all withdrawals, and I might even have to approve all the deposits too. I can't remember about that part. Now, once he turns 16, we can switch that to a minor checking account, and that would give him access to the money without my approval, and it would help him learn financial responsibility. I suspect we'll be doing that around the time he turns 16. Now, for AJ, we had very different reasons for picking a savings account. First of all, he doesn't have any money that's going in or out of the account on a regular basis. And so we can make a deposit or a withdrawal anytime we need to. So that wasn't really a big deal for us. Another big factor was that one of the friends in his class had recently gotten a job, and so she had a checking account with a debit card. Okay, makes sense for her. Except that she wasn't always making wise financial choices, because her response to everything was, but I have a debit card. But I have a debit card. I'm going shopping and I have a debit card. And, you know, in the scope of life, it's not a real big deal. And it's a great opportunity to teach financial responsibility and good financial choices. But we could see AJ following a similar path, especially because this is one of his really good friends. And he was showing a lot of interest in having a debit card. So we kind of took the easy way out and decided we're just going to avoid the issue altogether by not having a debit card. So you're probably thinking, okay, that's all fine and dandy for you, but what about me? How does this apply to me? So here's a couple of things that I would say, or I would recommend that you consider. First of all, consider opening an account before you need one. That way it'll simplify the process if something comes up suddenly where you need a bank account or you need to make deposits or whatever. It's there, it's ready to go. You might also think ahead of to what possible reasons you might need an account to help you decide would a checking account be better or would a savings account be better. You might also consider calling ahead to the bank and seeing what documents you need to open an account. And if the length of time that you're there is an issue, you might ask how long it would take to open. It might change, the documents you need could change too if you're a guardian or if you have guardianship paperwork or if you're a representative payee or you have other issues like that. It could change what you need to bring in. So my question for you this week is this. Have you opened an account for your loved one? If so, was it a smooth process or did you run into some bumps in the road like we did? Did you learn any tips or tricks you'd love to pass on? I'd love to hear about them. You can leave me a comment below or comment on my blog over at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This originally posted in October of 2018. I would also really appreciate it if you'd share this with anybody that you think would find it helpful. I'd love to help more families out. If you'd like to make sure that you don't miss any pieces to this whole process, or you want to find out about all the new posts that I have as they come out, I'd love for you to sign up for my email list. Again, you can do that over on the website. I promise to only send things that I think you'll find helpful, informational, or useful. I am very relieved to have a second piece done, even if it was a little eventful, which is why I am always saying that life is good, and there is never a dull moment. Testing 1, 2.